Hey, welcome. Have you ever stopped to wonder why one day you feel like you can conquer the world and the next you're just struggling to get by? Well, a huge part of the answer is actually playing out inside of you in this sort of invisible chemical orchestra. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the key hormones that literally design how you feel every single day.
So let's just jump right in with this question. Imagine for a second that you had a kind of dashboard for your own mind. What if you could actually see the chemistry that's driving your mood, your focus, your stress levels? That's exactly what we're going to try and unpack together.
And here's the really cool part. This isn't just something that passively happens to you. Not at all. You can absolutely learn to influence this internal chemical cocktail. You can actually learn how to stir it in a way that helps you feel your best.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet the feel-good duo. Then, we'll get to know your body's built-in alarm system. After that, we'll dive into the chemicals behind human connection. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by figuring out how to bring everything into balance.
All right, first up, let's talk about the absolute superstars of your well-being, dopamine and serotonin. Now, you probably hear these two mentioned a lot, but they play really different and totally crucial roles in how you experience your day-to-day life.
Let's kick things off with dopamine. You can think of this one as your brain's engine for motivation. It's that little buzz you get when you finally cross something off your to-do list, or when you taste something amazing. It's the hormone that basically says, hey, that felt great. Let's do that again.
And this is where things get super practical. Just look at this. On one side, you have simple, powerful things that boost it, like hitting your goals or getting some exercise. But then, look at the other side. Things like chronic stress or not getting enough sleep. They just drain the tank. It's a direct trade-off. So what this really means is you can take control. You don't have to just sit around and wait for motivation to show up. You can build it yourself by setting these tiny, achievable goals. Every little win gives you a small dopamine hit, which then fuels you to go for the next one. It becomes this amazing upward spiral.
Okay, now let's meet dopamine's partner in crime, serotonin. See, if dopamine is all about the thrill of the chase, serotonin is that feeling of calm, quiet satisfaction. It's the mood stabilizer. It's what helps you feel balanced, content, and just good.
And this is fascinating, right? There's a reason people call your gut your second brain. A huge chunk of your serotonin is actually made there. So it makes total sense that having a healthy gut helps your mood, while things like chronic stress can really throw the whole system out of whack.
You know, the best part about this is how simple the solutions are. A quick walk outside in the sun, taking a few deep breaths, or just catching up with a friend. These aren't just nice things to do. They are literally chemical inputs for stabilizing your mood.
Okay, so we've covered the feel-good chemicals, but to really get the full picture, we have to look at the other side of the coin. We need to understand the body's alarm system, and that system is run by a hormone called cortisol.
Now, cortisol gets a really bad rap, but it's not the villain of this story. In fact, it's absolutely essential for our survival. When you're faced with a real threat, cortisol floods your system to give you that jolt of energy and focus you need to handle it. It's your fight-or-flight fuel.
But here's the catch. Our bodies were designed for short, intense bursts of stress, like running from a tiger. The problem is, in our modern world, the tigers are now work deadlines, traffic, and endless phone notifications, and our alarm system can get stuck in the on position. And when that happens, the very hormone that was designed to save you starts to harm you. Chronically high cortisol can trigger this whole cascade of problems, from anxiety and terrible sleep to a weaker immune system. Your body is just stuck on high alert, and that's completely exhausting.
So the real key is learning how to consciously turn that alarm off. Things like mindfulness, actually prioritizing your sleep, and getting regular exercise. These are powerful signals that tell your body, hey, the threat is over. It's safe to relax now.
All right, let's shift gears to a much warmer, cozier part of our chemical makeup. It's time to meet the hormones that are all about connection, bonding, and feeling good. Oxytocin and endorphins. People often call oxytocin the love hormone or the cuddle chemical, and for a very good reason. It's the hormone that's released when we feel close to other people. It's what builds trust, strengthens bonds. It's basically the chemical glue that holds our relationships together. And the most wonderful thing about oxytocin is just how simple it is to generate. A hug, petting your cat, doing something nice for somebody. All of these little actions trigger a release of this powerful hormone, and it makes everyone involved feel more connected. It's a win-win.
And next up, we have endorphins, which are essentially your body's own natural painkillers. They're released by your nervous system when you experience pain or stress, and they not only help you cope, but can actually create a feeling of euphoria.
This is literally the science behind the famous runner's high. When you push your body, it rewards you with this flood of endorphins. But hey, you don't have to run a marathon to get it. A really good deep belly laugh, eating a piece of dark chocolate, or even enjoying some spicy food can give you a nice little boost.
So we've met all the individual players now. But the real magic, the real secret to well-being, is getting them all to work in harmony. And that entire balancing act really starts with the foundation of pretty much all health, sleep. And that's where melatonin comes in. Think of it as the conductor of your internal clock. When the sun goes down, your brain releases melatonin to signal that it's time to wind down. Getting quality sleep is non-negotiable for regulating almost every other hormone we've talked about, especially for keeping that stress hormone, cortisol, under control.
So when you zoom out and look at the whole picture, the path to feeling better becomes pretty clear. It's not about some magic pill, it's about a lifestyle built on these 4 pillars: moving your body, getting good sleep, nurturing your connections with others, and eating well. These simple, consistent actions are what create the chemical foundation for your well-being.
At the end of the day, your well-being is really just an ongoing conversation between your lifestyle choices and your internal chemistry. And hopefully, everything we've talked about today has given you the vocabulary you need to better understand that conversation. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to start changing the dialogue?